Hello all, thanks for tuning in. This is Yekie, aka previously the Watch Cafe, aka previously my name is Let's Dance. Last video, the video image was blurry, the whole rest of the video, so I could not bear to finish editing it. So I'm going to reshoot it completely. What was I talking about? I was ready to get into some questions, some watch related questions. I'm wearing watches all day long and I'm experiencing them and interacting with them. I have my own opinions and thoughts on things, and I was wondering if I'm alone. And I don't know why I'm wondering that, but I guess I'm trying to have a connection here. I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to make a dialogue, I suppose. Let's get into it. I did write these questions down. Number one, this I'm actually kind of curious about. How long does it take you to read your watch? Maybe I'm the only one. But on a watch that has just indices, it takes me a few more seconds to read it, as opposed to reading a watch that has Arabic numerals. Not that I'm there staring at this watch. I do start with a reference point on the watch, which is usually the 6 o'clock, the 12 o'clock, usually 6 and 12. So in the beginning, when I was first wearing a watch, I used to have to count the indices to see what hour it was. I still kind of do that to an extent. I'm definitely much better. My dive watch that I wore to work, it had 12, 3, 9, and 6. And I found that to be far easier to read while at work than this brew watch, which is just indices, indexes, hash marks, markers, whatever you want to call them. On average, it probably takes me about 3 seconds to read my watch. Question number 2, leather or NATO? And by that I mean, what do you prefer to wear? I do find NATO straps easier to wear, easier to not worry about if I'm at work. I reference work a lot only because that's kind of what got me into watches. I almost gauge buying a watch by how I think it might perform at work. It's preferable for me to wear a NATO strap at work because of the job I have. I am a barista. And my hands are in water a lot, dropping coffee, milk. So I need a watch that's gonna be waterproof, somewhat durable, and preferably on a NATO strap or a metal strap. I had been wearing a Timex Weekender to my job that was on a leather strap. It quickly became apparent why you should not be wearing a leather strap in certain situations. Let's not get into the details. Anyway, leather or NATO strap, what is your preference? I found myself liking the, how shall I say it, the sturdiness of a leather strap. And I just don't mean sturdy as in how it feels. I mean it looks sturdy. I don't know, there's something about a simple leather strap that unobstructs the watch to be quite simple, to be almost refreshing. I'd been wearing a lot of NATO straps in the beginning of my watch hobbying. I even put a NATO strap on my Orient Bambino. I found that to be kind of taking away from some of the watches. And I can understand why certain watches should just be on certain straps. Most of my watches are on a leather strap. I don't have any watches on a NATO strap. I have one watch on a metal strap. If you have a different strap, do you like canvas straps? Do you like, what is that one? Pearl-on straps? NATOs are fun, don't get me wrong, they are fun. I'm in the market for a dive watch, so maybe when I get a dive watch, it will be on a NATO strap. Okay, here's a big question, Grail watch. I know there are so many watches out there, and Grail watch does not correlate to money, because I find myself liking certain watches that are far less cheaper than other watches that are very expensive. I guess I'm going to go the middle ground here. My Grail watch is a Cartier, the newest Cartier Santos Dumont. The 2018 came out last year, sometime around this time, I think last year. On the metal bracelet, of course, medium size. And not just because the medium is smaller, but also I saw the large and it comes with the date window, and the date window just throws off the design for me. Now, how did I get into this Cartier Santos Dumont? I've seen the Cartier Tank. The Cartier Tank is a nice watch, and if I came upon one, I would not be complaining, but I don't know what struck me about this newest Cartier release. The fact that this came on a metal bracelet, and at the time I was looking for something on a metal bracelet, I guess this just captivated me. And in my idealistic head, I saw this watch and I thought, that's my writer's watch. Anyway, that's my idealistic approach. Plus, the watch is really nice looking. The price, given what it is not that bad. When I first saw this watch, I thought it was gonna be way more expensive than what I found it out to be. You know, my Grail watch used to be an Omega Speedmaster. I thought, whoa, that's a cool watch. That's really expensive, far too expensive for me, but that is an awesome watch. I love it. That's my Grail watch. Things have thus changed. Moving right along. Number 4, I don't really have an answer to this. Is there a brand that you should like, but you don't, and vice versa? Is there a brand you don't like, but should? That is definitely a tough one. I could go out on a limb here and say a brand I should like, but don't, and say Rolex, but not because I don't like their watches, because there are some other watches I really like. Just overall as a company, I don't know, this is kind of stretching a little bit. Maybe I should say Shinola. Shinola? Well, they're a watch company that I guess they aren't very clear on where their watches are made, and their watches aren't made very well. I'm assuming just what I've heard. But from their design, yeah, okay, their designs are kind of faux antique, but I kind of like their designs. I like that look. If I were to ever get a watch that looked like that, it would be the real thing. It would be a vintage piece. I would not go and get a Shinola watch. This is tough. Invicta. I should not like Invicta, but they have a heck of a lot of watches. I don't still like them. I think if I were to come across a Rolex Explorer 1, I would be pretty happy. This is opinion, but that's it. Maybe you have better answers to that last question. Anyway, I feel like there should have been a 5-question video. That's it for the video. This has been 4 watch-related questions. Thanks for listening. That's all. It's weird to have one of these types of videos and it ends with a 4, not a 5. Here's 5 questions. Here's 4 questions. Enjoy your life.